What's up, everyone? Be More Beats here, and today we will talk about setting buffer size for recording. Setting the wrong buffer while trying to record can cause a long delay between when the individual artist is singing or rapping and when your ears hear it and trying to record. That can be so distracting and so confusing, trying to manage hearing things the right way when trying to record. And oftentimes, sometimes the buffer size itself, because it's not the right setting, will create some noise or popping sounds or weirdness when you're trying to record. So let's get right into how to manage our buffer settings. This also applies to any DAW you use, not just Pro Tools, because buffer settings are universal. The way you get to those options might be different, but conceptually, it's the same thing. So for Pro Tools, I go to Setup and Playback Engine, and I'm looking at my playback device, which is my RME Fireface through Thunderbolt. And it's actually named RME Thunderbolt AZO driver. Well, it doesn't say driver, but AZO. You may have a Focusrite. It will say Focusrite 2i2 or whatever the version of your sound card is, AZO. So make sure you select the right AZO driver for audio input and output. There may be something called ASIO for all. Don't use that. Use the AZO driver that comes with your particular sound card for the best results. If you don't have a sound card, then you can use the AZIO for all driver to help you out. You won't get the best results, but it's better than nothing. So, again, use the AZO driver that comes with your sound card. The buffer size itself. The buffer size I've chosen is mainly because the hardware buffer is already set by my sound card. I can change it, but I have to change it in the application of my sound card. I'm going to leave this here. I will pull up my sound card though, because when you hit the buffer size button, it normally gives you a drop down list of all buffer sizes supported by the sound card. I just have a particular sound card that doesn't like to do it that way, so I have to set it here. And you see my card supports all the way up to 4096 down to 32. What do you need to know? You need to know that the higher the buffer rate, the more latency or time it takes for sound to travel between the speakers in your ears when the person's recording or when you're trying to record audio through hardware devices like pianos or something like that. The lower the buffer settings, the lower the latency between the time your ears hear it and the person's recording. So you want to find that perfect balance between buffer and complications with your computer. This card supports really low buffer settings, so it's not a problem for me. But let's say you have a Focusrite 2i2, it will show you all of the supported buffer settings it has, but the lowest one might cause problems, and problems are caused between PC versus laptop. Um, what's the build of the computer? There are many things that will affect how well your computer supports the lower buffer settings. So what do you need to do for your situation? Pick the buffer setting that is the most consistent for your computer. So start at 1024. If you don't get any pops and clicks, but you have a long delay before you can hear when you're recording, go down to 512 and start process of elimination and keep going down until you hear something like pops or something or some weirdness that says, hey, I'm not going to be able to record at this buffer size. I have to stick with what's available or what works for my computer. Hopefully, when you find your limit, it's good enough for you to record vocals and hear them directly without any problems. There's also some other options DAWs have, like lower latency and lower latency configurations to assist you in ensuring that latency is low while you're recording. Every card will tell you what the latency is. My card tells me what my latency is um, with a different driver or a different applet that comes with my program, with the programming, and it'll tell me 12 milliseconds, 6 milliseconds, or however many milliseconds. Um, you want to go for as the lowest milliseconds as possible. So work with that. Try the process of elimination to figure out what latency, low latency setting or low buffer setting fits your scenario. Now, the next thing you want to do is configure your device to record. The most important thing you have to remember is microphones are mono devices. So you want to select new track, mono, audio track, not stereo, mono. Select create, and finally ensure that the channel you're recording in, wherever your microphone is plugged into, is selected for input into your DAW. For me, analog input 1 is where my microphone is connected. And then I have to record enable it to make sure that this Pro Tools session is ready to receive audio. And you see my mic is hooked up to it. I'm tapping on it, and the signal is pretty strong. All you have to do now is hit record, and you will record your work. That's it. That has been a tutorial on how to set your buffer size, how to troubleshoot it, how to configure it, and how to record mono microphone recordings into your DAW. This also applies to situations where you want to record stereo into your computer. You select stereo, audio track, select create. Like if you're connecting a piano, an MPC, or some device that generates audio that you want to record into your computer. And that's how you configure it. Then you would select the input, whatever that input is, let's say 3 and 4, and then record enable. And then hit play on the device that you want to record, or start recording your microphone. And that's it. Hope this helps. Happy recording.